afternoon. It's a blazing hot Friday here in Saline County, and this is FAQ Friday. We are bringing you all the information you need about the services available to you from Saline County. Today in the hot seat, I have Justin Mader. He is the Saline County engineer. How are you?
I'm doing well, so thanks for having me.
Good. Well, thanks for coming. So you've been getting some questions, and people have a little bit of a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, we've been getting quite a bit of questions about a change on one of our county roads. So to give a little bit of background, what's going on. So Saline County was awarded a federal aid project to improve Simpson Road between Magnolia and Crawford Street. You're going through the federal aid process, which is administered through KDOT. It really stretches out a project, and so it's a long process, and so we're really looking at a 2023 construction timeframe to make these improvements to Simpson Road. So in the meantime, my office has decided to post those 2 miles of Simpson Road. We lowered it from the 55 miles per hour to the 40 mile per hour speed limit.
And that's what's got people calling your office.
Yes. They're just a little bit confused on what's going on, why. So what we tell them, it's really mainly, the traffic count. We're looking at 2,000 vehicles a day, which is a very high volume for a county road. And then it's the shoulder drop-off, creates a situation, just a scary situation, and we felt that it's best to try to slow traffic down, so they can traverse that road without dropping a tire off the edge of pavement, because once they do that, they could go for a pretty scary ride.
Right. So I live actually just off of that road, and I can attest that looks pretty scary, that shoulder drop off. And my kid's school bus drives down that road, and there's not just my kids on there. There's a whole host of other kids, and we want to keep everyone safe.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of traffic. One especially coming up with harvest. Harvest is always a very impatient time of the year. You've got a lot of your normal traffic, driving at 55, and yes, they drive faster than that, and a lot of slow-moving wide vehicles. People get stuck behind a tractor, pulling a grain cart or a combine. They get impatient, and they're swinging around, and other traffic's coming, and so it can just be a pretty scary situation when people get impatient. I think they make worse decisions when they get frustrated.
So speaking of impatience, I'm on that road for a mile, 2 miles every single day because that's where I live. And how much time is that adding to my morning commute?
So after about 3 days of phone calls from people, I figures it's probably time for me to do the math on that. And so, so going from 55 miles per hour down to 40 miles per hour in those 2 miles does take you an extra 49 seconds. So which is not much time, and we feel that 49 seconds of everybody's time is really, that sacrifice, is worth the risk to life, really, of traveling that road.
Yeah, because there's, you said, 2,000 cars a day on that road?
Yeah, there's about 2,000 vehicles a day. So
what does this project entail?
So the project, what it's going to do is we're not going to do anything with the asphalt pavement itself. The contractor will add a 4-foot gravel shoulder or rock shoulder onto each side of the road. And then beyond that, we're going to regrade all the ditches, and the ditches will be constructed much flatter than what they are now. Going all the way down to the bottom of the ditch, we're going to have a nice 8-foot wide ditch bottom and then a lot flatter slope coming up to it. And so what that creates is what we call a clear zone. And so that's an area where an errant vehicle, so a vehicle who leaves the traveled lane, if they get out on the shoulder and onto the slope, we create a condition where it's recoverable. And so a vehicle can either come to a stop, or for a recoverable slope, they can actually slow down and redirect back up onto the pavement. And that's really ideal what we want to have.
So that's good news for everybody.
Yes, very good news for everybody. Yeah, much safer condition.
And what can we expect to see over the next, first few months, years? What do we expect to see out there?
So we've been in the process of buying right-of-way, and I'm nearly complete with that because with all of that extra construction, moving the ditches out, we need additional right-of-way. But what that creates is conflicts with existing utilities. And so we've got a fiber optic line on the west side of the road. We've got AT&T communication, copper line on the east side, as well as water lines and power poles. And so the new construction will conflict with those utilities, and so we have to go through this process of then moving the utilities. The water line is going to start construction here within hopefully within the next week or two. Most of the power poles have been relocated, but we still have the fiber optic line and the AT&T line to locate. So it's going to look like there's construction going on out there, like they're going to be about ready to start on the road, but that's just the utilities.
So it's a little bit bigger than just dumping a bunch of dirt in the ditches on the side to make the road wider.
Yes, and it's actually it's really more complicated than what most people think because we have to do bounce earthwork. So it's my job to spend the county's money, spend taxpayers' money as efficient as possible. Mm-hmm. It's very, very expensive to haul dirt from a location off the project site to the location. And so you want to try to balance the dirt that you're cutting out to the same volume that you're filling or you're compacting in there. And that's where it gets tricky, is trying to find that earthwork balance in there to try to keep your costs within reason.
And tell me a little bit about how long this is going to take. You touched on it. Who's doing the project? Give me a little more information there.
Okay, so right now, my office is designing the project. We're designing the plans and putting the plans together, and we're submitting those plans to KDOT for approval. KDOT in Topeka will be letting the project. So when I talk about letting a project, that is when contractors will submit bids on the project and you open those bids. And then you read the low bid. And so that's what's called the letting. And that's going to happen. There's a very strict structure on the schedule. And so that's already set for July of 2022.
Okay.
So that's just when you determine who's going to be the contractor to build the project. And then there's a lot of paperwork, contractors got to submit bonds, and contracts have to be made between the contractor, KDOT, and Saline County. And so that process takes a little while. And so then after that, then the contractor has to fit the actual construction into their schedule. All right, so we're already talking about the letting in July of 2022. And so I don't think there's going to be enough time frame in the construction season to try to fit the construction at the end of that year. And so I'm anticipating that the construction will be in the spring of 2023. So once the contractor starts, then they'll be given a time frame to get construction complete. That hasn't been set yet. Usually KDOT will give a recommendation on a project like that and then get approval from the county. But I'm looking like the construction will probably be in the range of 3 months long.
Okay. And completed at what time or what?
So if it starts in the spring, again, it's really up to the contractor they got a window, and it's up to the contractor to pick a time frame in that window to begin. I'm thinking a time frame to begin in the spring of 2023, and so the completion date will probably be in the summer of 2023.
So aside from Simpson Road, what else do we have going on in the county?
So every year, we've got our bridge replacement program, as well as our asphalt road maintenance program. We put together a map for the commissioners and for the public. If they would like to view that map, you can find that on the county website. So if you go to the department's pull-down tab and go to Road and Bridge and then click on Engineering Division, you can download our map. So you can kind of see what's going on. Now, that doesn't tell you when it's going to happen. It's just going to happen sometime this year. But some of the bigger projects we've got going on is we're replacing a rather large reinforced concrete box on Niles Road, just south of the Ottawa County line. So that road's going to be closed, hopefully starting here after harvest. That's when the contractor told us when they were going to begin. It's going to be shut down for probably 3 to 4 months. The issue with that project is the roads around that project site are not very good, and so we're having to detour traffic to where they have to stay north. They go through the little town of Niles and then come down Jasper Road to the east a ways. And it's not a very nice detour. This one's going to be a pretty big inconvenience to people, but we don't really have much options for that one. So that one's again is going to start here in July. Another big bridge project that we're doing is on Mentor Road, just east of Gypsum Valley Road. It's a 160-foot reinforced concrete haunch slab. The contractor's anticipating starting that sometime in this fall. He doesn't really have an exact date on that yet, and that's going to be a 6-month-long project. Which is a fairly long project where that road will be closed during that time. We also have, and we got quite a few other smaller reinforced concrete box projects around the county on gravel roads. Each one of those projects, the road will be closed. The locals will have to find a different way around, just on the local road system. And each one of those will be probably shut down for about 2 months while we replace that structure. And then this year here, we've identified a pretty big need in the county, and that is our pipes underneath asphalt roads. So whenever you deal with an asphalt road and you're cutting into an asphalt road to replace a drainage structure, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to the public who's using that road, and it's just the cost of just dealing with the asphalt. And you've got to time it right to where when your project's done, the contractor can get asphalt. Because to have the project done and ready for the asphalt work in January doesn't do any good because the asphalt plants aren't running. And so it can get pretty tricky. And so a lot of those projects kind of get pushed down the line because they're quite a bit more complicated. But we found a real need to start replacing these pipes underneath their asphalt roads. And so this year, we're going to start replacing those pipes. We've got 8. We've completed one currently on Holmes Road. We've got 8 other sites that we're going to be starting. The contractor hasn't given us a schedule on those yet, but they do have to be completed this year. So that's probably enough about our bridge projects. Now we have our road maintenance projects, and so those impact a lot of the public. Because these are on asphalt roads, which are more heavily traveled roads. So we've got 3. So with dealing with our asphalt roads, the biggest detriment to an asphalt road is water. It's not heavy loads. It's not an overloaded truck. It's water. You've got to keep water out of the base. And so we spend a lot of effort and time and money trying to accomplish that. And so we do that with 3 operations. The first one is our crack seal. And so that's where a contractor routers a crack, opens it up, and we put a rubberized material in the crack to try to seal that off. Because, cracks just aren't cracks. Most cracks are working cracks. And so they, in the wintertime, they actually get bigger. And in the summertime, when it's like now, when it's 105 degrees out, they tend to close up. And so you've got to have that rubberized material that can expand and move with the pavement to keep it sealed up. And we kind of do that on a as needed basis. So the next thing that we do is chip seal. And so what that operation consists of is a contractor spraying down a polymerized asphalt oil on the road, and then right behind it they're dropping a 7/16 inch chip on top of it. So the whole concept is the polymerized asphalt oil will seal the road, and the chips or rock that you're placing on top of it is the driving surface, because you don't want people driving in the asphalt. So that's we try to chip seal a road about once every 4 to 5 years, and that at a cost of about $22,000 a mile. And we try to do around 45 miles per year on that. So the next thing that we do is our hot mix asphalt overlays, and that's where we put a 2-inch asphalt mat on top of the existing surface from that. So, however, the cost to do that is $160,000 a mile.
Wow.
So it's quite a bit more, and we only do about 6 to 7 miles of that each year. So, and we always get the comments, once someone sees that the contractor's about ready to chip seal their road that they use, or it's been chip sealed already, they're frustrated and mad because with a chip seal, one of the drawbacks is that it does traffic. The tires can pick up rocks and throw rocks into your windshield, and nobody wants that, including me, and I don't want that either. And they're just mad because they don't want a chip seal. They want an overlay because an overlay doesn't do that. However, the reason why we chip seal is just really it's a simple math. Mm-hmm. If we were to overlay the 45 miles of road that we chip seal, that would cost the county $7.2 million. Okay, versus with a chip seal, it costs a little less than $1 million. So you're talking about over $6 million difference.
Yeah, that's big math.
That's big math. That's big money, and so that's the only reason why we do chip seal. It's a very economical way to seal the road, and that's our goal. We're trying to seal that road.
Well, you're a busy man.
Oh, it's usually very very busy. Always lots of stuff going on. So which I enjoy though.
Good. Well, if people have questions, concerns, complaints, where can they go? Who can they talk to?
So if someone has a complaint, or they've got a question, they want to know what's going on, you can always call my office, or really it's the Road and Bridge office, and that phone number is 785-826-6527. And what you'll get is you'll typically get a very nice lady who will want to know kind of what you're calling about, because the Road and Bridge Department is split into two divisions. There is the Maintenance Division, who is ran by a gentleman, Darren Fischel. He's the Road and Bridge Administrator. They take care of the maintenance side of it, and I am with the engineering. And so she's going to need to know kind of what's going on, and then she'll direct the call accordingly. So, but we do like people to call in. Really, and we appreciate people calling in. And don't get me wrong, there's regulars who call in, and they call in a lot and let us know about stuff. But we really depend on the public to let us know what's going on in the road system. Because you're talking about 1,000 miles of road that we maintain, and we can't.
You can't drive that yourself?
No, we don't. And if people found out that all I was doing is driving around, they'd be furious. So we really depend on the public to kind of let us know what's going on. And it's like, yeah, okay, we'll get out there and check it out. And that way, that kind of helps us, focus in on the problem areas. So we really do appreciate that.
Very cool. Well, Justin Mader, Saline County Engineer, thank you so much for coming on FAQ Friday and helping us answer those questions. And I hope you will all join us next week as we go back to our Saline County Health Department series.